Guys, a very good evening and welcome in the ring. Let's fight. How you guys are doing? We hope that you guys are doing fine. We know Parliament is still happening. I think some of it is still being streamed on some of our pages. But for those of you who are joining us on Twitter, those of you who are joining us on YouTube, those of you who are joining us on Facebook, we welcome you. And as per normal, we ask that you share our live stream. We are going to have some guests standing by this evening. Um, and I know that when, for instance, the Honorable German Vergeer is finished speaking his presentation in Parliament proper, he is going to be with us. And we're going to be giving you some more updates, taking it from our colleagues, Randy, and also um, Nicole, who has been giving some coverage during the course of the day. But we welcome each and every one of you. Of course, we're going to wait for some of you to come because we don't want to have to go over anything. And we know you're fast and we won't go over nothing. So we're going to hold um, for some of you to come, guys. And then we're gonna make a start. But it's been a good day. Hope you guys have had a good day at your end as well. We are going to be picking up some of the coverage for budget 2021, some of the special coverage, and talking about some of the high points for the day and some of the low points as well. We had some tremendous speakers during the course of the day. This is day three, Thursday, the 25th day of February. Day three, we had, for instance, we had Dr. Nicolette Henry very early this morning. We had Druta Finance. Druta was followed by Maureen Philadelphia. We also had Nima Flubes. We hope you guys have a chance of taking some of these presentations. We also had the one and only Ganesh Mahipal. We also had Dionarayan Ramsrup, or Ricky, as he's commonly known to us. We also had German Figuera, who again is currently speaking. We also had Richard Sinclair early on in the afternoon. And again, we're so glad that you guys chose to join us so we can pick up the coverage here. Guys, we hope you had a good day, whatever you are doing. And we hope that you've been following some of the commentary on social media. We have some hot topics for you within the context of what's been happening in the National Assembly. And we are going to take it from there. And then German is going to join us. I think my colleague Randy is going to be joining me as well. And we're going to be picking it up from there. I think we are going to be streaming on some of the other pages. And guys, I'm so happy that you are here. That's what's important to me. You guys make this program what it is. And we love that so many persons are viewing. We love that even our parliamentary colleagues on the other side are viewing what is happening currently. Even our parliamentary colleagues on the other side are viewing what is happening currently. And we are tremendously thrilled that so many persons, even the PPP members and their ministers and so forth, tune into In the Ring to get the fair and credible information as it happens. They tune in to see us, folks. I don't know if you guys have had a chance, but did you have a chance to listen to that new song, Claudette Swing? I thought it was a fantastic piece of social commentary, and we're gonna play it for you a little later on in the program. Claudette Swing. Who Claudette? You have to make up your mind when you hear the lyrics of that song. I think it's probably one of the songs going up for this so-called monarch or something like that. But I heard it this morning, Claudette Swing, and I thought, wow, wow, wow. Who Claudette they're talking about here? That's your mystery. Who Claudette? Claudette Swing. I'm gonna play it for you later on in the program, but I'm still holding for some of you guys to come in. I know that the presentations are wrapping up in the National Assembly, and we want to give them a chance too. And I still think you have Randy and Nicole who have done a fantastic job over the last few days since the budget debate start. And I see some folks even trying to copy what we're doing. That's what we do, We lead and others follow, folks. We lead and others follow. And we're happy with that. It's not a competition. We do our thing. Nobody can do the things we do the way we do it. That's just the way things are, folks. That's just the way things are. And we're going to continue to put our best foot forward, make sure that you have the best content, you have the best program, and and you guys would know, those of you who've been our fans here in the ring from day one, we started with Zoom, and because you mean so much to us, because we want to give you a good product, we have redesigned the whole program around what you want, around your needs, the information that you need to make the right decisions, the valid and credible information, as Randy says, to make the right decisions. And we are holding for some more folks to join us. I am ready with my hot topics. I can tell you guys that I am like so ready with my hot topics. I am like so ready to go, right? I am ready to go bigly. I am ready to go bigly. But we're going to wait for our some of the other folks to join us because I never go for nothing. I never go for nothing, right? I never go over prepositions. I never to go over some of the presentations we would have heard today. I never it. So you guys have got to stay with us as you're there. Share the live stream. Those of you guys who are joining us on Twitter, we love you guys. You guys are joining us on YouTube. So many persons are subscribing to our YouTube channel, subscribing and giving us their comments and so forth. And we love that. I'd be lying to tell you anything else. So Sion Rodney and Pamela Sanchurin and Hazel King, Bernadette Patricia Miller, Flavor, who I spoke with the other day, and Samugan, Shalon Chester Pillay, uh, Gavin Liverpool, who's joining us on YouTube. Gavin, I see your comment there. Thanks for joining us via YouTube, Gavin. Bernice Carter. We have Yonette Charles and Lily McLennan. Is it Gunell? Apologies if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Simon, David Wood, Carol Noble, all of you folks. God, make this program what it is. We thank God for all of you. Folks, give us a share. Give us a share, and we are going to get right to it. I wonder what some of you have been saying about the budget debates. I wonder what some of you have been saying about these budget debates. Folks, let's perhaps get some of that commentary. Some of that commentary. First and foremost, I really want to say on behalf of the team at my end that we had nothing short of a miracle happening over the last few days. This is outside of the National Assembly. We were made to understand that you had a pair of twins who gave birth on the same day, just a couple minutes apart. And this is at the New Amsterdam Hospital. This is Amisha Tuesday Grant and her sister, her twin sister, Amila Latasha Tuesday. According to, I think it's Chronicle I'm picking this up from, they both delivered their babies within minutes of each other on Wednesday morning. Latasha Tuesday Grant, who underwent a cesarean section delivery, turned up at the New Amsterdam Hospital on Tuesday to keep her appointment for the surgery. Her sister, Amila Latasha Tuesday, visited the hospital because she was experiencing lower abdominal pains. She was due to have her baby next Saturday on the February 22nd. And according to the midwife, Regina Black, during the admission interview, the young mothers were observed to have dressed similarly, and it was confirmed that they were twins. Their birth date is August 22nd, 2000, and they were delivered at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. And we are so happy for Amisha and her sister, or rather the Tuesday twins. We're happy for them, and we wish these guys all the very, very best. All the very, very best to the Tuesday twins. Right? All the very, very best for the Tuesday twins. And as I said to you, we're going to have our colleague, the Honorable German Figueroa. He's going to be with us in a few. But again, congratulations to the Tuesday twins. And we also have, we've been looking at, for instance, what has been happening in the National Assembly. And much of it, I want to say, I've been looking at some of the commentary on Facebook and how persons have been receiving us out there. And one of the things that really struck me today is the presentation by Hugh Todd. Now, if there is one person who should be very, very quiet, Ian Henry, a very good evening to you on YouTube as well. I see your comment, Ian, and I'm very, very happy that you can join us on YouTube. And those folks who are joining us on Twitter, why don't you give us a comment? And we are going to definitely give you a shout out on the program as well. So all the folks on YouTube, thanks for joining us. Yeah, so this is Utah, who has been such an embarrassment where foreign policy is concerned. Um, on the, for instance, if you take the Taiwan debacle or debacle, depends on which school you went to, um, uh, Todd should have really and truly resigned on that front alone. But there was thought today in the National Assembly, picking up from where his fraudulent colleague Onish Waldron left off last evening. Suddenly, they are the voice for Afro-Guyanese. They are the voice for Afro-Guyanese. Now, the civic component in the PPC died so long ago. They used to try resuscitating that, but suddenly they want to be the voice. I don't know where that come from. I certainly don't know where Onich come from. Right? Whichever rock they were living under, perhaps they should crawl back under there. But suddenly, Todd had a speech, trying to rebut the Honorable, I almost said Minister, Amanza Walton Desir, trying to give a good presentation, but he, as I said when he was starting, he would have, it would have been a train wreck, and it was indeed a train wreck. So I'm going to give you some of that footage a little later on. But turning to some of what we saw on social media during the course of the day, I'm just going to put for you just a couple of what we saw on social media as regards Parliament. And I think this was from Kenny Valdares. And Kenny says that he was asking the question whether a preposition or a pronoun. Plus, we got Pampers Gal to ask who should be the Minister of Education. And as you probably know by now, there was the reference that the Honorable Minister was making to another colleague in the House, referring to her as she. And one of our other colleagues was saying, well, you can't refer to the Honorable Member as she. And the Minister of Education said that, the she should refer to was in relation to the Honorable Member or the subject matter Honorable Member. And she was adamant that she was a pronoun, that she was a preposition rather. And as we all know, because we went to school, we went to IFLAC University, that the word she, especially how it was used, because there are times when words get their part of speech by how they're used in a sentence. In this instance, it was being used as a pronoun. So the Minister of Education was totally wrong. We're going to play that clip for you a little later on in the evening. Additionally, on social media, we saw, I think this is Pauline Doris Williams, asking is who buy bangles and bed sheets with the government resources. All right, Maluk Session Parliament is Dharmlal Sessa Nami. So I want to know too. And I was there, I want to know too, who buy bangles and bed sheets. And finally, on social media, we saw this by Andrea Humbled Bacchus. Andrea asked, is she a pronoun? Is she a pronoun? Well, you got to ask the Minister of Education, because the Minister of Education bright like a light bulb. So I don't know what he may be able to tell you to convince you of that. The Minister bright like a light bulb. So let me get to some of what I wanted to show you on the other end in terms of maybe we take it from what Mr. Todd says, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs. Claude Tyndall, I see you joining us also on YouTube. And Claude says that prayer is a blunt head. That's what Claude is saying here on YouTube. Let me see if I can take away. Guys, could we take away the lower turn and we can put some of the comments up? Yeah. Here's what Claude Tyndall is saying on YouTube. Claude says, prayer is a blunt head. Who am I to quarrel with Claude Tyndall? Right? Who am I to quarrel with Claude? So I'm going to let's take some of what the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs said, and we are going to take it from there, folks. And when we come back on the other side, I'd love to see some of your comments on what he said. And by that time, we should have one of our guests with us for the evening. Here's Minister of Foreign Affairs, fraudulent Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Utah.
Application for the ministry, I would like to do some house cleaning. There are some matters that need to be addressed and put to rest. The matter of race politics. It is a very serious issue, Mr. Speaker, and as a black Guyanese on this side of the House, I have the prerogative to speak as a proud black Guyanese citizen. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to the opening remarks and the substance offered by the first speaker from the opposite side of the floor, the honorable member, Madam Nazir. She went on to use race politics and ethnopolitics by division to create further hostility in the Guyanese society. But I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, it is not being heard by the working class blacks in Guyana, because I am going to those communities and I'm hearing a totally different story. They're telling me that enough is enough. They are tired of the race politics and they are tired of the misrepresentation of the working class blacks in this country. Mr. Speaker, that is a theory that the PNC-led coalition are perpetually used to confuse the working class people in Guyana, predominantly the black working class. And we, on this side of the House, are going to confront it today, because this is a situation that should not persist in any 21st century society that wants to build a future for each and every citizen. And on this side of the House, we are going to put that to rest by ensuring that each and every Guyanese citizen is fairly treated and fairly catered for in a society that is open, all-encompassing, and has the value system that will allow each and everyone to participate in the development process. Mr. Speaker, I cannot speak without referring to data. There's a thinking on the other side of the House.
Yes, guys, I apologize. I'm not going to give him too much airtime to spill his filth. But I don't know where Todd was when we needed an interlocutor in the race situation. Where was Todd when we had all the vitriol and Orange Waldron during the election campaign? I don't know if you guys remember Auntie Saki and Sophia Prasad and the whole host of other people. I mean, where was Todd's voice then when it was really needed? But suddenly they are now the poster child of fairness, right? Because of course, Irfan says the East Coast is the corridor of unity. He has a team now of oneness, and you have, it's only left for them to have a ministry of happiness, right? This is the foolishness that they are carrying on with. Suddenly, after they have perpetuated one of the most divisive campaigns in Guyanese history, suddenly they want to lecture us, right, on racist tactics. He's coming from Jagdeo's party, where Jagdeo tells us on a daily basis, chase them out. Y'all remember that? Chase them out. Huh? Who got blood in their hands and all kinds of nonsense, right? Who is hungry belly? Who go into parliament to eat food alone, right? We understand those dog whistles, right? But this house slave named Hugh Todd don't understand that. And he comes to the National Assembly and even talk on foreign affairs, wants to lecture us about race relations in this country, he shouldn't be the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He should be the chairman of the ERC. That is what he should be. All right? Todd wants to lecture us. Can you imagine that? And for those of you who might have missed Onij Waldron and her own foolishness last evening, we want to play some of that for you. If you might have missed her own foolishness,
Speaker, in the aftermath of the
we are going to play some of that for you because it's, suddenly, and they think we don't understand this, they think we don't see it, they think we don't know what is happening here, right? They think we don't understand what's happening. Okay, I think we have some folks who are going to join us, so we're going to add these guys in, and guys, we're going to get back to Onij in a little bit. Let's welcome my colleagues. Let me see if I can do this the other way. Randy and sorry, I am trying to do this.
Yeah, there we go.
Randy and Nicole, guys, awesome job you have been doing at the last 48, 72 hours. Kudos to you. What is happening at your? I was just taking the viewers through some of the nonsense from Todd, the quote unquote foreign affairs minister, the legal foreign affairs minister, suddenly being this person for Black people in our country, and reminding them of the stupidness by Onij Waldron uttered in the National Assembly yesterday, because suddenly the two of them are now the spokespeople for Black folks. They should either go to work for AGDA or perhaps at the Ethnic Relations Commission. That's what's happening at your end.
We've been looking at the proceedings. Of course, we hear all day interviewing the MPs and listening into the presentations and trying to keep the viewers abreast as to what is happening on the floor there. I find it, and we had an interview this afternoon with Honorable Amanda Walton-Desir, who broke down this issue very succinctly. She said, it is sad that they have to send these two Black. It's unimaginative to send the two Black people to talk about, the ethnic relations, as you said, and to call out and come in this very frontal way and say, listen, like, if you know what, we are Black people and we over here, some Black people go over here. Black people and we over here, some Black people go over here.
Yeah, it's utter nonsense. It's utter nonsense. Anybody else, not Onij Waldron. Onij Waldron could not be an honest interlocutor in this process. Onij Waldron stood in the National Assembly, put her hands on the Bible, and lied to this nation. Right? Onij Waldron, as an attorney at law, knew you could not be a member of the National Assembly and be a dual citizenship and be a dual citizen. And she knew she still had that dual citizenship when she was taking that oath. Put her hand in that Bible and held out, right? At the instigation of the PPP, not to give up, not to give in, held out that she was not a dual citizen until it was the Chief Justice, the Honorable, who pronounced in that case that yes, when she took the oath of office, she was a dual citizen. And then in typical PPP style, they tried this legal gymnastic. No one knows when she resigned. No one knows when she was sworn in again as minister. She just appeared. And Onij wants to lecture us about race relations. She's a poor example. You understand me? Black people in this country, and I have no apologies for saying that. Because this person like Onij, that allows those folks on the other side, like Mr. Jagdeo, to give us the labels that they give us. When you stand in the National Assembly, hold the religious book, the Bible, and you're going to lie to the people of this country, and you will come and lecture us now and tell us about our conduct, give us a break, Onij.
Yeah. I know Nicole has been following all day too. I find it very, very funny at this point in time, Sherrod. I have a good laugh listening to them. I don't know what are your thoughts.
Well, I don't laugh. I get very angry. I get as angry as Sherrod does. And what he's saying is really, really correct.
Yeah.
They are poor examples. Onij Waldron, the Prime Minister, the Todd, poor example, because they sit by and allow all of those attacks to be perpetuated on the Afro-Guyanese community. They sit by and they say nothing.
Well, I heard MP Figueroa just now refer to Mr. Utah as a prime example of an Uncle Tom. I don't know if you know what an Uncle Tom is.
And Randy, as you're on that note, we have MP German Figuera with us, who has just concluded his presentation. Let's welcome him. MP Figuera, welcome in the ring. How are you doing,
Thanks
sir?
for being in the ring.
we have also our colleagues Nicola and also Nicole rather and Randy, who are with us
Hi,
as
Nicole and
well.
Randy.
Right.
Good job,
I heard
Thank
you
you.
on your feet there, delivering some blows non-stop. In your
I
presentation,
learned about being in the ring.
good, sir. From your presentation, what were you seeking to put forward to the Guyanese people?
One, that we have a grossly incompetent Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport who has not presented Guyana with any plan for the development of culture, for the development of our young people, and more so for the development of sports. Equally so to highlight that we have an equally incompetent Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I mean, you could name other ministers, but the call by Amanzan Walton for the resignation of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I too would want to make such a call for the resignation of Mr. Ramson, who has really demonstrated his inability and his Janda's view of what the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport really needs for Guyana. And we have so much opportunities, a plethora of opportunities to really put Guyana out there for the world to recognize and notice us. But he is caught up in his political escapades that doesn't augur well for the ministry.
MP, I want to ask listening to your presentation. Sorry for taking over your show, Sharon. But I want to ask a question because when you, at the beginning of your presentation, you were adamant in putting forward the point of the unprecedented nature of having MPs being locked out of Parliament, and the Speaker seems to want to engage in some alternative fact that he's refuting the fact that opposition MPs were locked out, and he insisted that that is not the case when everybody in social media, the entire world saw opposition MPs locked out. Your thoughts?
Well, people by now have already concluded that the Speaker is not on the side of fairness, so to speak. But that doesn't change the fact that MPs were abused, were berated, were humiliated. Our very friend, the referee in the ring, was insulted, berated, and physically abused. And more so, all of us were locked out. So either this, it doesn't matter if the Speaker don't want to accept that. That is a known fact. The Guyanese know it. Guyanese home and the diaspora know it. The world knows that it was live on the internet. So irrespective of whatever obstructionist tactic the Speaker may want to employ in the House to prevent the truth from getting out, truth has a way of escaping anything that tries to lock it in or close it in a ring. You know, it escapes. That is what truth is. And even if he didn't want to accept it or not, that was the reality, and it had to be recorded in the annals of history for the Parliament, so that future MPs, when they come and they reread history, they will understand of the sacrilegious precedent that took place under the legacy of the Speaker of the 12th Parliament. That is his legacy right there, where MPs, elected MPs, were prevented from executing their constitutional right to come into the Parliament to speak on behalf of thousands of representatives who elected them to speak on their behalf. That is the Speaker's. That is part of the Speaker's legacy, whether he wants to accept it or not. That is the truth.
Indeed. Sharon?
Nicole?
Yes. I wanted to go back to same Honorable first you Todd, his presentation, especially when he spoke about African or Black Guyanese. He goes to the community and how they're crying out and telling him that they're tired of the race hate. What I want to highlight, he said that but he didn't go to seek consensus in the Amerindian community or in the Indian community. He never went to them to find out how they feel about racism, but he went to the black communities.
Yeah.
You understand? And they tell him they're tired, right? So my thing for him is for him to go to the Indian and Amerindian and all the other communities, find out how they feel about racism, and let us know what they think about racism.
And
You know,
Figueroa,
and
go ahead.
Listen, you have made a very profound observation. And the reality is, Guyanese know racism exists in this country. And the only way we can have this one Guyana that Mr. Ali speaks about is for us to confront the issue frontally. We need to have a national conversation on the issues of race. And the PPP has for years utilized influencers in the black community, tokenism, and give them a position
Yep.
and say,
Yep.
you go and speak on
Yep.
our behalf for the black
Yep.
community. And Mr. Todd is a poor example of
Very,
anyone
very
who
true.
could speak on behalf
Very,
of the
very
black
true.
community in this country. You cannot say that racism doesn't exist with making fanciful speeches. The reality is we have a race problem in this country, and the very actions of the PPP continue to perpetuate racism. They talk one thing, but their actions demonstrate that they are not for this one guy. They are not for unity. They are
Yeah.
about divide and conquer. And they use Uncle Tom's, like the Hamiltons, like the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Todd, those people to come as if they are the voices of the African community in this country. They are Uncle
And
Tom's.
and German
So I
guys,
have no respect for them.
you also we also all listened to MP Finance presentation that we're going to talk about a little later on. But in that presentation, she spoke about how even in the distribution of resources, you can see how race is playing into it. Region 4 as the largest region doesn't get as much as region 1 and 2 in terms of the allocation of the, or was it Ganesh at the local government level. I think it was Ganesh who pointed out, even with the distribution of resources. So coming back to what MP Figueroa said rightfully, they talk one thing, but their actions tell you something different. And as I said on social media, inclusivity is more than cooking a pot of cocoa and putting a photograph on Facebook. It's deeper than that.
And another thing too, Sharon, what should not escape the conversation is that when black people, African Guyanese, speak on behalf of their community, they are labeled as racist. I will never accept anybody saying to me that I cannot speak on behalf of my community. You do not experience my reality. My reality is different from yours. So I have the enabled right to speak on behalf of my community.
Yeah.
When you gonna
Yeah.
come to my community and give me ball and a bat and tell me go and play, and you have not given me any economic resources to empower myself, but you're giving it to other communities, and you want me to accept that this is what a one Guyana should look like? No, we represent probably more than half of the population of adult voters in this country. And you want to say to me that I cannot speak on behalf of the community? And some of our leaders, unfortunately, Mr. Duncan, are afraid of these so-called labels these people want to put on us. I am first and foremost a black man, and I am a very proud black man, and I
Yeah,
don't
correct.
care what people want to say to me. I am the epitome of a cook-up ethnicity in this country. I'm a black man with a Portuguese name. So I have different ethnic makeup in my genes, but I see myself as a black man. I see myself how they see me. So I will accept being a black man, and I will speak proudly anywhere I go that no other person can represent my interests better than me, because I live the reality. I experience the reality. And the only way we can address the racial divide in this country, even though some may not want to accept. Check Facebook, even on your program, Sharad, even on Critilo and on our sister's program, the racism in the commentary,
Yeah,
and you see
yeah,
the ethnic
disgusting.
divide in those
It's
comments.
disgusting.
It is an issue that has to have a truthful conversation so that we can move from point A to point B in achieving this ideal of a one Guyana. We must be able to speak freely as African Guyanese, as black people, as Indian people, as Amerindian people, as Chinese, and as a collective, we can really deal with the issue of racism in this country so that we can achieve what Mr. Ali is talking about. For some reason, I believe this guy wants good for Guyana, but he is not having his way. And like I said in my speech,
Yeah.
he's a Muslim. Muslim is about brotherhood. True Muslims. It's about brotherhood and ethnicity. And they strive not to race into the divide, but they see us as a oneness, Allah as one supreme God over
Yeah.
all of us. And
Yeah.
if that can be really achieved, it can only be done by us having a mature and honest and truthful conversation so that we can eradicate this disease, parasite of racism in this country. And that's the only way we can.
Randy Nicole?
Well said. You're well
You said
said.
it for me, Nicole. You said it for me.
Shameless example perpetuated by talk. And you know what? Both I'm speaking now. Both MPs in the ring. MP Fidera and you, Sharon Duncan. In terms of today, we have relevance award here on the program. And she says, you know, he's behaving like that. She hopes that he recovers from the skin marks on his back that he got from his own party congrats after with a sanction on Taiwan, withdraw the comment and was disowned by his own administration. He was thrown on the bus and he couldn't able to speak. He had to come and abuse African Guyanese. He had to come to the floor. That is payment. He had to come on the floor and abuse African Guyanese and label us there. Label the community without checking other communities to get consensus on how they feel. You understand? But the honorable
Nicole.
We're not hearing you, Shara.
I'm saying that I want to develop on that. But let's get some final thoughts from Jeremy. I think he might want to run off. He's still at Parliament. And then we can continue on the discussion. Jeremy, any final thoughts before you go, my brother?
Yes. I want all of Guyana to know that when African Guyanese speak on behalf of the community, they're not racist. They speak their experiences and they want to bring truth to power so that others who may want to label them as racist can understand and have a greater appreciation for why they see what they see. I am from, my grandmother, on my mother's side, is Indian. On my father's side is Portuguese. I am an ethnic as a Guyanese. So when persons want to label me as racist because I speak on behalf of my community, I laugh based on their ignorance. They know nothing about you, but because as a black man, you speak on behalf of your community, you are labeled as racist. And in the parliament, sadly, Mr. Duncan, I think you would have recognized it, the loudest commentators who shouted racism, racism. Unfortunately, are Africa Guyanese. It's like they're singing for the supper. That's what I'm saying. It isn't a true representation of tokenism. They're not really influencers in the PPP, you know. They're tokenism. So
And that's why I said,
we,
when
we
we
have
had
to
months of racism
continue
during the
to
campaign, they
speak
were silent.
on behalf of the community. So we have a Herculean task in this country as a collective on both sides of the divide to honestly have a mature conversation on the issue of race. That's the only way we can solve this problem, by us accepting that there is a race problem in this country and have an honest conversation, and where the distribution of resources are done on an equitable basis. Stop giving handouts to, I mean, pittance of handouts, because other communities are also given handouts. But when you look at the disparity of the nature of the handouts, you see the racism in it. One wants to be angry when you expose it. So we have to continue to expose it. We have to continue to speak about it. And hopefully, we can reach a consensus where both of sides of the divide can reach as a collective and say, after so much years of independence, it is time we really make a giant step forward in trying to at least achieve the ideal of one people, one nation, one destiny. With that said, good night, comrades.
Thank you,
Brian.
and the intellectual aptitude for stepping in the ring. Thank you very much. Guys, what are your own thoughts there on this whole debacle with youth on? What are your thoughts? Nicole, you are proffering some ideas before I cut in there.
Yes, we weren't. They were saying on the feed that there's a lot of echoing. I hope the echoing doesn't. It's still there.
Check that. I'm still hearing it actually. So when we are speaking, we're hearing ourselves.
But I'm hearing you clear at my end, so it's not from me. It has to be something at your end there, or at the other end. Maybe at Andrew's end, right?
Even when Jeremy was speaking, hearing him echoing.
Why not try? Yeah.
Yeah, let's coming back.
Good. So for those folks who don't have the benefit of hearing us behind the scenes, don't have the privilege of hearing us, for instance, some of the heckling when a presentation is being made. The Foreign Affairs Minister kept going on and on and on about all kinds of extraneous matters and not laying out a foreign affairs agenda for the people of this country. He kept going on, and as he kept going on, I was simply saying to him, when are you going to start? I said, foreign affairs is dealt with in the budget on page 64 and 65. Trying to help him along. You all talk about 3.9 billion being given to missions and consulates. You talk about strengthening the diplomatic presence in the Middle East. Your 2 missions, one in Qatar and one in UAE. But you didn't hear there are 2 pages devoted to foreign relations, and the Foreign Affairs Minister struggled. As somebody said, you have this crisis with Venezuela happening. You had the Taiwan situation. You had the missing boat now in probably international waters, and the Foreign Affairs Minister cannot speak to this nation and the international community who is watching us. He's on all sorts of nonsense, and he doesn't understand that his portfolio is even more important than the others.
Yeah, especially Shara, that we are in such a.
I can't hear you. I don't. Yeah.
You hear me now?
I can hear you, Randy.
Yeah, especially when the country is in such a strange and unprecedented foreign relations position.
Delicate situation.
Right? Because I want persons to understand how unprecedented this position Guyana is in right now. We've just come out of an elections where they were unbelievable and never seen before international interference. So we have that. We have the US government, the Trump government imposing themselves and signing deals and putting things in place just before they were pushed through. Just before they lost the election, they wanted to impose. So we have this joint thing being signed. You have all manner of things. We don't know. The U.S. Embassy is announcing our foreign policy. We have that. We have Venezuela with their increased aggression. I'm just laying this out for everybody to understand. We have the foreign minister stepping and stomping on 50-something years of foreign relations with China, right? We have, of course, Guyana's position of supporting the non-Latin American and Caribbean chair, right? Of
Right,
the
yeah.
what's the organization? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
The OAS.
The OAS, right?
Yeah.
Non-Caribbean or Latin American chair, the OAS. We have all of these departure from the normal diplomatic course. It is. We have never seen anything like this in the history of Guyana in terms of foreign relations and diplomacy. It is, as I like to say, shambolic at the moment. And then we have we have a minister of foreign affairs who again was thrown under the bus, come to the National Assembly and can address none of those issues. None of them.
And Sherrod, you would ask me to repeat what I said earlier. I was saying that on the show, on our show with Randy, Amanda Walton Desir was there, and she made mention of after that. Hello?
Yeah.
I'm hearing that. She made mention.
Go ahead.
Yes, she made mention of him. She hope he recovers from the skid marks on his back after he was thrown under the bus by his own administration and sent on the floor, from my point of view, sent on the floor to abuse African Guyanese, right? Label us, abuse African Guyanese. Meanwhile, he paid no attention to all that Randy has indicated.
We have
no attention. All that is happening is tweet. We have to learn by tweet, as what was indicated by the Honorable Minister, that our embassy has been downgraded. We have to learn that by tweet. Nobody in Guyana knew from outside sources and all sorts of things. And instead of addressing the issues, they come to Parliament and they don't come to represent, they don't come to articulate any line item that will benefit
unprepared, totally unprepared. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too before we go. But on the third issue still, he spoke about going around to communities and talking with people. That is not his role. If he wants that, maybe he should be Minister of Local Government. If he spends more time in international relations, then they would not approve Taiwan without cabinet's approval, if that is the truth of the matter. And he would not have been making all of these blunders. It is madness. It is madness to see Todd there. Honest to God, I feel disgraced as a member of Parliament to know that this is the offering. And I asked some of his own colleagues. I said, "This is our Minister of Foreign Affairs. Does y'all want to get somebody a walk? Really and truly, when you have had somebody like Rudy Insinali as Minister of Foreign Affairs, Rashley Jackson as Minister of Foreign Affairs, is Minister of Foreign Affairs. They are past these people in this country. They are past Guyanese. And I don't care if you thought he's black, because I'm not looking at black. I'm saying he's a fool. That's what I'm saying.
And Sharon, as we said, the backdrop of all of the craziness that is happening in foreign affairs and the departure from the norm, you come to the house to talk about ethnic relations and how you visit black communities. What is your role?
Yeah.
It just seems as if you were sent to do this instead of concentrating on what you're supposed to be doing.
That is exactly what happened. He was sent to Parliament after he was thrown under the bus and abandoned by his own party.
Yeah.
He was sent to label us and to insult us. He is another one. Joe Hamilton, him, the Prime Minister, and the Waldron. They're all placed there, having done their dirty work for that racist
we see
party that they belong to.
Let me just add one thing before you jump in, Sharon. I note that we are speaking about the fact that these ministers are not dealing with their subject ministry and telling us anything substance. So,
Yeah.
and I take that and I juxtapose it against the Speaker of the House telling the opposition that they have shadow ministers and he would hope that they would deal with those subject areas. And I didn't hear him once telling these actual ministers that they should deal with their ministries. I'm again highlighting his position, his bias on unfair position that he's taking up in Parliament.
Real bias. Real bias. We see it every day as we
Yeah.
watch.
And talking about that, I mean, again, Nicole, Randy, I know you guys are a stickler for these things. Listen to the presentation. It was all over the place. I don't know what he spoke about in foreign affairs, foreign relation. Inspires no confidence that 2021 is going to be any definitive year in foreign relations. Didn't outline a foreign policy or anything. Just went off on a whole set of extraneous matters. Then when you add the Minister of Education's presentation to that, my God, where we are. Where are we? Let me play a clip for members of the public where she's being corrected that you can't refer to an honorable member of the House as she and she and she and she and she. And she's adamant that she's a preposition. She's a Minister
What?
of
Yes, she said that. She
So
said
folks,
that.
let us take that and then we're gonna come back on the other side
Here just now
and
told
comment.
us about how she is saddened that as a preposition, and if I said the honorable member first, that's the subject, you stupidity. Honorable member stood here just now and told us about how she is saddened that as a preposition, and if I said the honorable member first, that's the subject, you stupidity.
One more time.
And told us
I was laughing. That's what I was telling you earlier today.
as a preposition, and if I said the honorable member first, that's the subject, you stupidity. Honorable member stood here just now.
And
So
listen,
guys, you have it.
Wait.
Stop the clock.
You
Stop the
change
clock.
the view, change the view.
Change the view.
Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Sorry, guys. Change the
Wait, let me
view. Stop the
unpack this thing, Sharon. Please. Let me unpack this thing.
Unpack, Randy, unpack.
I'll
Shots
unpack this.
fired.
Let me unpack this thing here.
Please unpack.
Now,
Shots
as
fired.
a former educator, let me unpack this thing. The Minister of
Unpack it for us, sir.
Education. Right. Let me unpack this. This is part of speech 101. Right?
Yeah.
The Minister
Unpack is a
of Education
verb. That's it.
that because she used the person's name in the beginning, she's now using she as a preposition.
Yes.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
No, man, no.
Minister of
So what
Education.
You tell me our Minister of Education
what members of the public couldn't hear is
and a
Randy,
pronoun.
what members of the public couldn't hear was the heckle. The heckle was stop saying she, something like that. Stop saying she. And so she comes back and says, I mentioned the subject, so now I'm saying she, and she is a preposition, right? An antecedent to the subject, which really and truly is the pronoun.
Tomorrow we're going to have a nice session. Part of
Hold
speech
on,
101. No, we had politics 101. Now you're part of speech 101.
First, that's the
It is
subject.
so
Let's get some more of it for the members of the public.
And told us about how she is saddened that
Preposition
as
Priya.
a preposition, and if I said the honorable member first,
And then she can't put names to here now.
Honorable member stood here just now.
Is you ready, Stupid, here, Randy?
About how she is
wait, Sherry, come back. We have unpack this thing properly.
member first, that's the subject. You stupid.
Let me take the time and unpack
Unpack the last part. You
Right.
see where they go for people, eh?
So you, as the Minister of Education, first thing you're wrong. As my comedian friend would say, Kwesi, is you incorrecting me. You're correcting me. You're incorrecting me. Right?
Yeah, preposition Priya.
Right. She's telling people that, prepositions are pronouns. The pronouns are prepositions. She knows she's using the wrong thing. And let us bring another literary term in here. The irony right? The irony of it is that at the end of her incorrect statement, she is asking somebody if there's stupidity.
Oh yes.
So ironic.
And this is the National Assembly. You see,
Right.
you see the quality of the debate, and they want to come and lecture us about decorum, and she calling a member of the National Assembly stupidity.
Man,
You understand me?
this is one big ironic ball of loveliness.
Oh,
Here,
yeah.
why?
Preposition prayer.
The irony is that it is a Minister of Education.
That's it. That's it.
How ironic! The
Honorable.
Minister of Education
Honorable.
don't know the difference between a preposition and a pronoun, and at the
Oh, yeah.
end of trying to
You see why this
insult
friend failed?
somebody,
You see why they're
somebody-
passing and just putting them over? No child left behind. She's a product. They just put her over.
right? No, let me continue on this line. One,
Unpack.
Minister of Education, done bad already. You don't know the difference between preposition and pronoun. Secondly, you're trying to insult somebody after you basically insult yourself by not knowing what the right thing is. And then added to that, Sharon, I don't know if persons knew, but Priya Manik Chan must be the person with the most grammatical errors on her Facebook post. And I did a compilation of it. I'm going to show it, I'm going to give it to you, and we're going to show it on tomorrow. I have a friend with your namesake, Onyx Duncan, who has made it his life's work, right, to highlight Priya's mistakes and typos on her Facebook page. There is no other person in public life that makes so many mistakes and typos on their posts every single day. This is the Minister of Education. Mind you, the PPP and the acolytes made a big hurrah when Minister Henry was reading and made a mistake in terms of Pagwa and Diwali on a script that somebody gave her. Now we have Priya, ain't no difference between preposition and every day misspelling something on Facebook. The irony, and then has the gall to ask the person after she just made a fool of herself if the person should be. This is I done.
And this is
I done.
and this is
I done.
and this is Priya's second. This is Priya's second stint as Minister of Education, mind you.
Priya was left behind.
Second.
Finally.
They push you over. They push you over. Guys, what else happening at your end?
I mean, we're just covering. We're waiting on tomorrow's presentations. We went through, and we'll be on 10 o'clock tomorrow for those persons who are joining us. We'll be on 10 o'clock tomorrow with more of the presentations. We're enjoying this, Sharon. Trust me.
All right. There's a song, a new song that is out there. I don't know if you guys had a chance to hear it. Clouded Swing. I wanted us to take a listen to it and then come back at the other end and say good night to the folks. Are you guys ready for that?
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead, Sharon.
All right, good. Let's take a listen, folks. Again, this is a new song that is out there. I think it's part of the Soca Monarch. Take a listen. We'll come back on the other side.
That is huge. Back-to-back sixes and hands will be clasped. What a time to keep the dream alive.
Preposition Priya. Look how she get her name now.
The dream is diminished.
Fishing, wing, wing, wing. Bim, bam, 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 boy. Bim, 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 bim. After 5 years was big excitement in Guyana. Tickets sold out, not a seat left in the stadium. Manchester was today, the green team and the team them prepare. Big cricket match, and the winner will take it all. A lot of foreign 100 boys falling. But beat him when he develop a lineup instead. Let him watch them with a smile, like it's sly as a crocodile. They had a secret weapon to help them beat the opposition. She had them jumping in the knees, falling on their knees, saying, Lord of mercy, what is with thee? I am slack, hiding the ball behind Shabbat. So much violent trickery, and nothing punchy. When she sing the ball. The guarantee wickets will fall. No batsman could stand up when Claudette swing. Claudette swing. She like a star and fly like a fox. Claudette swing. Or you will get stumped. She loves to bowl a slower ball, dropping you in front or you get caught. We'll see what shot when they see how Claudette swing.
So, folks, let's come back.
Yep.
Let's come back.
Bim bam bam biddy biddy.
So there you have it, Claudette swing. Thoughts, guys. I didn't know if Randy swing or if Nicole swing, but Claudette swing.
Claudette swinging, Claudette playing cricket.
Oh, she had the ball behind her back. Which was a secret weapon.
And
Claudette
Claudette
swing.
is a double agent. Nobody you know, but
Oh,
Claudette
yes.
is like
Oh,
cricket.
yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
this a cricket game in the jungle. Any elephant walk about half mile. He starts to run in, come in, double at the express train.
Oh, Florida,
my
this
God,
country really
Claudette.
shake up. Country
The
shake
song
up.
is
Claudette shake
excellent.
up this country.
That calypso is excellent. Excellent.
Claudette
Randy, you're
swing.
I am, listen,
Randy, you need to unpack.
I just,
Unpack,
I am
Randy,
still
unpack.
on preposition prayer right now. I'm sorry, I still on preposition prayer.
And Claudette is too much for you. You have to add to your plate.
But don't full already.
Oh,
But I
Father.
had another one for you because later down in our presentation, Priya held up a document and she said that how the government worked hard and they packed, she congratulated the teachers and everything, and they
Oh.
packed a lot of work all at once in these documents to send out, and that is what made the incorrect grammar was in the program.
Oh, yeah.
Education
I
minister.
see let's prayer, right? Them,
And
them
that is
booklets.
acceptable. And that is acceptable.
I feel
So that's
she,
acceptable.
is she right there? Got to be.
Randy and Nicole, it's been my privilege to have you guys here with me in the ring this evening. Joining me from your own broadcast. You guys did excellent work during the course of the day. I saw some folks trying to follow, but you guys are a hard act to follow. Continue your hard work on the front line. It is being noted, folks.
Thanks a whole lot. Thanks a lot, Sharon.
And as we always say here, before we go, continue, guys, to social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, watch those groups of 10, even in the groups of 10 and not more, still make sure that you are social distance. This government will have no care for you and COVID-19. And so it is up to us.
Bring the news from Studio A here. Rockefeller says so.
I know you all had one studio, but like your swing. Have a great evening, guys, and do stay safe. Nicole, Randy, stay well. God bless.